another video back on here. God, I'm all right, man. I'm good. I'm good. So, Malevolent Creation. I've been planning on doing this video since last year. How it is always when I put together videos, I write down, I have notes everywhere. It's like, okay, I got an idea for a video, write the shit down, and I've been wanting to do this for the longest time because Malevolent Creation is definitely, it's hard to say my favorite, but when it comes to death metal, they are up there really high as far as one of my favorite death metal bands because I've always loved Malevolent Creation ever since when I first heard them. And they're part of that classic early 90s death metal wave that happened, out of the Moorsound studio and Tampa and all the early 90s. They were a big part of that. And it kind of blows my mind that they don't get mentioned in the same breath as like Obituary. I don't know. It's just, who else? I can't even think of fucking shit off the top of my head. But I feel Malevolent Creation should be up there higher. I just thought they had such of a unique sound. And actually, before I get into this, every time I love Malevolent Creation, but also every time I hear I think of Malevolent Creation, I think about this guy I went to high school with. His name was Johnny. This motherfucker. Every time we'd see him in high school, he'd go, "Welcome, Malevolent Creation." He would always say that shit all the time. Malevolent Creation. He'd be in the hall, running down the hall, screaming that shit. So I always think about him, and also I think about it because I knew him back when we were younger too, and I think when I was about 10 or 11, this kid was a fucking asshole. He used to treat his parents like shit and tear the house up. I don't know why all these motherfuckers out here were like this. Why the parents didn't knock the shit out of him, but I had to have been like 10 years old. So I know we were pretty young, and this was back when it was, all we knew was fucking 80s new wave shit and Motley Crue and whatever. But I remember one time me and a couple other guys spent the night at his house, and his mom was there, and that kid was going crazy, tearing the house up, running over and just knocking shit over. His mom was crying. Shit, I could still hear it clearly. Not again, please. And her begging. I'm thinking, man, if I was doing that at my house, I would have had my ass beaten. I mean, my parents would have beat the fuck out of me if I acted like that. But of course, being 10 years old, we thought it was funny, and he was running around. Of course, he was probably trying to show off in front of his friends and look cool and tear shit up. And his mom was having like a nervous breakdown. I remember she was sitting on the couch and closed her eyes and was praying, going, "Oh God, please help me. Please help me." I mean, this sounds really fucked up now. I mean, it actually sickens me now, but I'm still kind of fucking laughing, but it's fucked up. And I remember at the time I was kind of scared. I thought, this is kind of scary. I mean, it's fucked up. Should we help her? You know what the kid does? His mom's sitting on the couch with her eyes closed, praying. He picks up a fucking phone and starts dialing random numbers. Hello? And just handing the phone up to her mouth, and she's like, "Please, God, help me." And I could hear the people on the receiver. "Hello? Are you okay? Hello?" And he kept hanging up and calling different numbers and putting the phone up to her face while she had her eyes closed, going, "Oh, God, please." I don't know whatever happened to that guy. They moved away, and who knows, man. His parents probably ended up beating the fuck out of him eventually. I don't know. Story of my life, man. I always come across these fucked up people. All right, so Malevolent Creation. So to me, Malevolent Creation had such a perfect mix of that death thrash. I mean, they still walk the line of thrash, but still death. The music was very heavy, but thrashy and death. So the singer, Rhed Hoffman, I think was a very strong asset to that band. He had such of a unique voice. When you heard his voice, you knew it was him. Just like Martin Van Drunen from Asphyx and Pestilence and other fucking bands he's got. You heard it, you know who it is. And in death metal, a lot of times you hear that it all sounds. I mean, I don't want to say it all sounds the same, but some vocals sound brutal, but they kind of mix and it's kind of hard to decipher. But the Malevolent Creation, his voice was very unique. And even on the first album, the Ten Commandments, it would sound like he's taking a shit and straining, but man, it stood out to me. Malevolent Creation has done albums without him on vocals, they're all good. From beginning to end, I like all Malevolent Creation albums. Even the last one, I think the last one that came out had that fucking demon lizard-looking motherfucker on there. The 13th Beast, yeah. I didn't even buy it. I listened to it. It's good, but it's just gets to be where a band's been around so long that I don't buy everything. But my point is, when you hear a Malevolent Creation album without Rhed hopping on vocals, it just doesn't sound the same. Versus you pop on any album with Rhed Hoppin's vocals on there, it comes in, you hear his voice, it just feels, yeah, man, that just brings me back. Because, throughout their career, Malevolent Creation has gone through many, many different lineup changes. I mean, they got the core guys in there, but it's been a rotating door of musicians. But Hoffman went in and out of the band, and every time he would go out and he would come back and do another album, it was just like, here it just sounds so at home right here. This is how Malevolent Creation needs to sound. And Rhed Hoffman is dead now. He died, which fucking sucks. And Malevolent Creation is still playing. And the albums without him on vocals, they are good. I do like them, but it's just, for me, it just sounds so good. For me, when I first heard Malevolent Creation, I heard them on that At the Death's Door compilation, which I've talked about that on this channel plenty of times, which was very influential. But I first heard them, and it's funny, when I first got that, Malevolent Creation, I liked it, but I like other bands better, but then it just grew on me, because I feel like the vocals weren't as brutal as the others, but that's why it stood out, And then I went and bought the Ten Commandments. I got the cassette, the original from back then, and I just played the shit out of it. And then after that, the local radio show, after hours show, the Sweet Nightmares, I heard them after the fact, the Malevolent Creation demos on there. They would play them on there, which are really good. Excellent, solid stuff, man. And then, of course, once the next album was coming out, Retribution, I was like, oh, fuck, man. I was like, let's check this shit out. The cover looked cool. And I bought it, and I was like, fuck, this is even way better than the first one. But it's one of those things where, like the same thing with Cannibal Corpse, I like the Barnes era, and then Eaten Back to Life is not as heavy as the original, but it has a certain feral sound to it. It's the same thing with the first Malevolent Creation. It has a certain sound to it. Plus, I love the artwork on the cover of the Ten Commandments. And it's also interesting, too, that intro that's like an instrumental where it's just doing the spoken word. I think I heard that they recorded the album that was short, and they just recorded that song last and just did a spoken word over it. I think that's what happened, and it was like a last minute thing, but you know what? It worked out perfectly. So I think it's a great intro to the album, then it goes right into it. But anyway, Retribution came out. I bought the CD when it came out. Got blown away, fucking love the lyrics on there. And then I did see them on that tour. I've talked about this show many times. The Complete Control tour was at 92 or 93. Was it 95? I can't even remember. But Obituary, Malevolent Creation, Cannibal Corpse, and Agnostic Front, 4 of my all-time favorite bands, and I just remember having such a good time. I fucking stage diving left and right. A friend of mine was in the crowd and he was counting. He counted that I did over 40 stage dives. I felt beat the fuck up after that show. But what I always remember about that show, how impressive it was, Malevolent Creation opened up. You know, normally an opening band, it's even if it's touring, people are not as much into it. They opened up, they had a fucking circle pit going crazy. That's why I wish that somebody would have shot a video of that. I still have not seen any. And it was at in Houston, Texas, at the Backstage Club, which it changed to Cardi's later on. Now it's fucking closed, but it was Backstage. And I've seen other shows that happened there that I went to that I've seen on YouTube that people posted up, obituary shows and autopsy and shit like that. But this show, I guess nobody filmed it. I wish they did, because man, my ass was stage diving left and right there. And then after that, Stillborn came out. Road Racer, Road Runner Records, you know. Road Racer was the one that released all that shit back then. And a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, when it first came out, I thought it was fucking great. Nobody was talking shit about it, but then after the fact, I hear people, well, the production's not as good, or people don't like it. I don't get it. I fucking love that album. It's honestly, when I want to listen to Malevolent Creation, that's kind of my go-to album. Even though 10 Commandments, Retribution is really good, Stillborn, man, it's a raw production, but not raw like black metal raw shit. It's just rough, but it's fucking sounds perfect. The drums sound great, the sound of vocals. It's kind of hard for me to say what is my favorite Malevolent Creation album, but these first 3, absolutely, man. And then the cover is very odd. It's got this, you know, the pic. Everybody, even though the cover looks like an earth or a spear falling apart into a whirlpool. Strange shit, but it's just abstract crap. I mean, I don't know the backstory of the cover, but I'm sure it was a situation where they had some art and they said, oh, fuck yeah, cool, pick that one, that's good. It looks fucking scary. And also, I like Malevolent Creation's logo, too. It's very identifiable, and you can actually read it. You know, these days, people make logos, and it looks like a bunch of just shit, like, oh, who's playing? 5 indistinguishable bands who I have no fucking idea who they are. I don't know, it's about marketing and branding. You gotta make sure people know who the fuck you are. But anyway, Malevolent Creation's logo is really good. I remember a friend of mine lived in the neighborhood. He had a door in his closet, and everybody would come over would like draw something on there. And I remember I drew the Malevolent Creation logo real big on there, and I drew the Entombed logo and just all kinds of other bullshit. I wish that we had a picture of that. Of course, the guy moved away, and who knows what the hell happened to that door. But good memories on that. And then after that, they came out with, they did a live album. It was like a split. I think at Exhorter and Suffocation. It was some kind of shit like that. I didn't even buy that back then. I kind of wish I did. But then that's when they had the issues with Brett Hoffman. I remember I read about it somewhere in some zine that he got kicked out of the band or some shit, which I was like, well, fuck, man. I was pissed off. I was kind of the same way, going back to the Cannibal Corpse, going back to the Cannibal Corpse reference, like when I first read in the magazine that Chris Barnes got kicked out, I was fucking pissed. Even though Corpse Grinder Fisher from Monstrosity, I liked his vocals in Monstrosity, I still just prefer Cannibal Corpse with Chris Barnes. I still like the other stuff too, but so I saw that he got kicked out. They had a new, well, it was just the Jason Blackowitz, whatever the fuck his name was, played bass, just moved over to do vocals. And then they came out with the Eternal album, which was on Pavement Records. If anybody remembers that, that was a upstart label. I can't remember if it was a sub-label of a bigger one or whatever. I can't remember. Pavement was putting out some good stuff, but it seems like I've read somewhere that Malevolent Creation kind of got fucked over on the deal. I could be wrong. I can't remember. I'm just using my memory. Twilight Zone, motherfucker! But Eternal. So Pavement music came out, and that's the Scary album. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Great fucking album. I mean, And that Jason Blackowitz, his vocals, I like them. They're more of a dry horse sounding vocals, but I think they're brutal. I like them. But they're just not Brett Hoffman. It just sounds like a different band to me. The music is still great, man. It's like, just reminds me of like Rain and Blood music, just amped up 100 times, man. It's just, the riffs on here, I like the production again on Eternal. Great stuff. A lot of people, I've heard people talk shit about it. It's got the scary song They Breed. If you know the backstory behind that, I don't need to go through it, but if you look at the song online now, that song is omitted just because of whatever. I don't even give a fuck. You know, whatever the backstory meaning is of it. It's a good song. The album is good too. Now this is when things get weird. They're still on Pavement Records, and they come out with this Joe Black compilation. So I didn't get this when it first came out. Somebody else I knew got it, and I listened to it. I was like, what in the fuck is this shit? Hell, this weird dance remix shit on there. I mean, I just don't get it. Malevolent Creation is not that kind of band. I mean, even you see the pictures of them, they look like fucking, you know, ruffian kind of people, not somebody fucking playing dance music or some shit. I read an interview with Phil, the guitarist, and he was saying that this was some shit that this album that was being recorded, Pavement was doing it, and that was being recorded in a studio, and the guy that did the recording was normally doing a lot of rap and dance shit, and then the guy had the idea of doing a remix of all this shit, and then Pavement wanted to go ahead and release it like that because he thought it would be more marketable and make more money. Of course, he interviewed Phil was like, yeah, we had nothing to do with it. Who knows? Maybe who knows what? Maybe back then he thought, yeah, let's try something new, man. It's cool. You never know. But this is a piece of shit release. So I said earlier, I like all Malevolent Creation releases. This one, you can fucking throw it in the trash. Joe Black. And you look at the cover too, it's cool. Solid black. The name Joe Black, I like the cover, but it's just like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, that's like Celtic Frost always wants to get rid of Cold Lake. Well, Cold Lake, I'll listen to Cold Lake any day over this fucking shit. So they need this Joe Black crap, stuff that's remixed fucking crap. Actually, the only thing good on there is they got a Raining Blood cover on there of Slayer, but other than that, it's just, I mean, there's some songs are okay, but the remix shit, they should just release this as an EP and not put that remix shit on there. Fuck that. Then after that, In Cold Blood came out, and they redeemed themselves. That's a fucking good-ass album. Again, Jason Blackowitz is singing on there against the same style as the previous album. It's good. It's good. I just wish that Brett Hoffman was on there, but still a solid album. I still play that all the time. Usually, if I get into a Malevolent Creation mood, I'll either put on the first one or Stillborn, and then just go through the whole discography and go back and listen to it all. But this is one of the ones I definitely play. And then from there, Brett Hoffman would come in and out of the band, and the albums with Brett Hoffman are good. And they're also, the other stuff too is good. I mean, actually, I did see Malevolent Creation on the War Cult album, and that was fucking good. No Brett Hoffman, but it was still fucking good. Ironically, I saw them at the same fucking venue. I saw them many years before that when they were on tour for Retribution, but it was for War Cult. It was backstage back then it was changed to Cardi's, and that's when I saw them there. I get my mind mixed up, but that's good. It's a good fucking solid death metal album. It's just, again, without Brett Hoffman, it's just not the same. But then looking through, they released a bunch of other shit, live stuff, tons of compilations. But then when Invidious Dominion came out, that album, I was like, holy shit. I mean, before that, there were other albums that Brett Hoffman came back, but Invidious Dominion, man, I was like, holy fuck, that's a good ass album. And that came out in 2010, and that shows they still had it. Rhed Hoffman on vocals, and that is one fucking solid ass death metal album to look at. So if you ask me which Malevolent Creation, I'd say either the first three or this Insidious Dominion. Those four are definitely my favorite by them. And then after they've released, other stuff too, videos, DVDs, live albums, a bunch of compilations. I see Road Racers always reissued all their shit, the Roadrunner albums and all this crap like that. But again, Malevolent Creation, and when you see them live, they're really good live. They're into it. They're not just standing there like statues. They put on a fucking good show. So they're still playing. So more power to them. The last album, the 13th Beast, is good, but it's just not as good as the other stuff just because of the vocals. And the vocals are good on there, but anyway, I say, hail Malevolent Creation. They fucking need more. People need to start talking about them on a higher fucking level, man. Fuck that. One of the fucking best death metal bands of all time, man. Fuck it!